Arc 1 of ReZero is undoubtedly one of, if not the most mysterious parts about all of ReZero. I mean, think about it. Tappei has said time and time again that Arc 1 and the final arc of ReZero are going to be the most important arcs within the entire series. So, with that being said, there is obviously and apparently many hidden details within Arc 1 that I would like to go over, and that's exactly what today's video is going to be about. The real mystery of Arc 1, and we're going to theory craft a bit about how many little things and details are within Arc 1 and what could potentially be coming out of those many details. With that being said, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you're into ReZero content and into content like this in general. I'm going to be covering all of Season 4 when that eventually comes out, and I keep up with the web novels, so if you're interested in that, leave a like and subscribe. And also, don't mind the setup. I know it's way different from my normal setup and way worse, but I'm back in my hometown because college is on break right now, so bear with me. Just pretend, all the cool stuff is here. I tried to bring a couple of things, but yeah, you get the point. Whatever. Let's get right into the video. So yeah, as I said, Tappei has gone on and said that Arc 1 of ReZero is going to be the most important arc within the series, and it's very apparent that there is, something going on within that arc. I mean, when you just watch Arc 1, there is a much more mysterious vibe to it, and especially when you go back to it and revisit it after watching it for the first time, there is a sense around Arc 1 of ReZero that is honestly not there for the rest of the series, and the mystery is very prevalent, and you can see this better than nowhere else than within Subaru's very first loop, and especially with a couple of small details. The first of those details that I want to discuss is one that often gets dismissed within the ReZero community, to which I honestly disagree and beg to differ, and I think holds much more significant value than many web novel and ReZero fans would like you to think, and that is going to be Amelia proclaiming her name as Satella within the first arc of ReZero. And yes, I know the stated reason as to why she did this. The obvious reason is because Amelia wanted to chase Subaru off. She did not want his help to find her insignia, and she, more or less wanted to get rid of him and get him to go away. So she told him her name was Satella in the hopes of scaring him off. But in turn, obviously, Subaru didn't know who that was, said that was a very cute name, and henceforth, it went on. I know so many ReZero fans dismiss it and leave it as that, a red herring, but I can't help but just look deeper into this. I mean, I feel as if two things can be true at once, being that, Amelia obviously said her name is Satella for that stated reason, but there's obvious lore implications that Satella, was playing a part within Arc 1 some way and indirectly, and the way that I think that is going to involve the moon. Now, if you rewatch Arc 1, or if you read the web novel version of Arc 1, the moon is often mentioned within this arc. I mean, when Subaru and Amelia are going to the loot house for the first time, the moon is panned to within the sky, and it is a full moon. And furthermore, when Subaru and Amelia are offed by Elsa for the very first time, when Subaru promises that he is going to save Amelia, there is a bit of moonlight where Amelia's hand is, and that moonlight is sparkling, and you see Subaru reach out into that moonlight, in which that is when, the proclamation, "I will save you," is made, and which that's where I think Return by Death was given. That's not the only place we see the moon within, Arc 1 of ReZero. The main point of the moon being within Arc 1 of ReZero is going to be at the end of Arc 1, in which the Arc 1 interlude is titled "The Moon is Watching," in which we, have the events unfold, in which Fel is declared as a royal candidate, but something very weird happens at the end of Arc 1, specifically regarding Reinhard, and that's going to be that after the end of all of this, Reinhard looks up and gazes upon the moon, and essentially says that things are never going to be the same, setting forward. In which, without going into spoilers, within the recent chapters of Arc 9, Reinhard reveals something, that was foreshadowed all the way back within Arc 1 of the series. Something very subtle, something that as an anime only, you wouldn't pick up on within a million years. So if Tappei is layering foreshadowing into such small little details regarding Reinhard in that, illicit way, I think it's safe and fair to conclude that he could be doing the exact same thing with many other characters, in which I think that scene with, of course, the, Amelia stating her name is Satella. I think there is two layers to that, more than one, and I feel like Tappei as a writer wouldn't just put that in there, just leave it as a red herring. I feel like it could be more or less a double cross within a sense. And not to mention, the author has gone on to state that whatever Reinhardt saw on the moon within Arc 5 of ReZero when Regulus sent him there was a spoiler within himself. So there is obviously something going on within the moon of ReZero, and furthermore, on top of that, I mean, one of the most apparent and obvious connections is Satella's name herself. Satella is, for a lot of fans, theorized to be, synonymous with satellite. And what is the moon? A satellite. So it seems, or at least Tappei is hinting at, that there is some apparent connection with the moon of ReZero, and specifically with Satella. And really, going back and watching Arc 1, the moon is made prevalent time and time again, during a lot of the events of ReZero. I mean, it's in Arc 2 also, the moon is made a prevalent point. Same thing with Arc 3 and with Arc 4. At the end of Arc 4, it shows the moon. It's kind of reminding me of, how with Pandora, she usually watches with the white doves. Well, maybe the moon could be Satella watching within a sense. And another huge detail that is often mentioned regarding Arc 1 and the overall mystery about it is the fact that when Subaru spawns into the world, the return by death sound is made. You can hear it. And that within itself is a little bit suspicious because you don't watch as anyone around Subaru, reacts when he comes into the world. Many people believe that Subaru was already within the world, and more specifically that whatever loop we saw Subaru in was not the first loop. I think that's a totally fair assumption, considering there has been many things more and more as we have progressed, pointing to ReZero being like a cycle-based story with things repeating. And if that wasn't Subaru's first loop, and in some sort of way he had his memories wiped or he was sent there, from the past to go there, I feel like that would make a lot of sense. And for a while, I wasn't as big on these Arc 1 theories. I thought they were a bit silly, but really recently, with the revelation we learned within Arc 9 of ReZero regarding Reinhard and something revolving Subaru, it made me just go back and look at Arc 1 again and really hone in on almost every little detail to, see what is there and what type of clues are there. Because for those of you that don't know, at least within Season 1 of ReZero, Tappei Nagatsuki had very heavy control over what was shown within the anime and, how he wanted things portrayed. He was directly involved with the making of Season 1. So where many people would often dismiss an anime for, having hints and clues because the author is not directly tied right there, Tappei was specifically tied with Season 1 of ReZero and, had direct involvement in which, where things went and how things were portrayed. So I think a lot of these decisions that we see, especially within Arc 1 of the series, are intentional. And not to mention, it has been revealed since Arc 4 that there was obviously other players within Arc 1. Elsa was not just sent there for no reason. The events were essentially triggered by Roswaal and by Echidna. As we learn in Arc 4, Roswaal had the Book of the Gospel and, stuff was sent out then and there by him. But above all this, the character that I find the most suspicious within all of Arc 1 is going to be Reinhard. I mean, just because of what we have learned recently, and not only that, even before this, he was being extremely suspicious, I think it's very apparent and very clear that within Arc 1 of ReZero, Reinhard knows much more than he lets on. I mean, just off the way he acts. And of course, with this recent revelation, that has been proven true. So what else does he know? What has, his sword or his divine protections told him? And really, who is Reinhard? What does he know? What does he see? And how is he playing into the overall events of the world and how they unfold? And what will his point be at the end of the series? And I honestly just can't wait until all of this gets revealed. I wish I had answers, but I don't. And for the last main thing that I would really like to mention regarding Arc 1 is going to be the cover of the light novel volume of Arc 1. Now, this is quite honestly a bit of a crack theory in the ReZero community, but I mean, if you look at the cover, like the background, whatever's going on, there is clearly something there, like a teleporty thingy. I mean, people have talked about this before, but it really is interesting and weird. And Tappei is known to foreshadow stuff within his covers before and, give subtle hints. So this very well could be, I mean, who knows, Subaru's transportation into the world, something along those lines. We are not 100% sure, obviously. But yeah, all in all, Arc 1 of ReZero is without a doubt one of the most mysterious arcs within the series. And as time goes on and we learn more and more about what is shown within this arc, I think it'll be so interesting to see, many other details revealed and just really how deeply Tappei has layered this foreshadowing. When the Reinhard stuff was revealed, or not only that, but a couple of other things within Arc 9, Tappei stated that there has been things that have been planned out for over a decade up until this point. So who knows what else he has planned from that very first arc. But yeah, with all that being said, that's about what I have to say on Arc 1 of ReZero and the overall mystery regarding it. I know not much coming out of this video as for substance, but I just wanted to talk about this and hear what people have to say and hear their thoughts on it, because honestly, it is something that is quite hard for me to theorize around because there really is such little things, revealed regarding this arc. And I also don't want to go into spoilers with stuff regarding Arc 9 and spoil people. So I want to hear in the comments your thoughts on Arc 1, what mysteries you think could be lying there, and what other stuff do you think could be layered, like I mentioned with the Amelia Satella stuff. I really do dislike how ReZero fans tend to just brush that off and act like it's nothing and anecdotal and, just leave it where it is, in which, oh, she just said that to scare off Subaru. Like, yes, that is true, but I really do think that is obviously going to have some more lore implications, involving it, considering the fact that, the influence of Satella within the first arc of ReZero, and such as, with the moonlights on the hands and so on and so forth, and just that overall emphasis on the moon, and obviously we know her connection with the moon. But with all that being said, let me know your guys' thoughts on the comments below. Don't mind the setup for the time being. Just pretend, it's the old setup, nothing changed, anyways, that's about it for this video, guys, and